The deadly pandemic that swept the globe and put simple pleasures like going to the movies on hold hasn't kept some creators from striking a chord with audiences. That's certainly true for Emmy and Academy Award winning actor Louis Gossett Jr.'s new film, The Cuban. In fact, it taps into many themes that are more relevant and raw today. It's already won several festival awards, including the Audience Award at the 2020 Pan-African Film Festival. And it's a great pleasure to welcome from Atlanta, Georgia, actor Louis Gossett Jr., and from Innisfil, Sergio Navarretta, director of The Cuban. Welcome to you both.
Thanks for having us.
I watched the film. I really loved it. And for our audience, we actually have the trailer, a little bit of the trailer to show. Sheldon, could you please roll?
His name is Luis, and he used to be this famous musician back in Cuba. He even played the Cotton Club. He played with Bauza, Machito, Dizzy Gillespie.
And he told you all of this.
Did you really play with all these people?
Ladies and gentlemen, El Guitarista!
All this nonsense. It's a Cuban boy. Am I right?
Is that you?
Yeah, we've known each other a long time since we participed.
Forgotten legend.
And you're sure it's him?
I would like to start with you, Mr. Gossett. Why did you want to do this film?
Well, it's obvious, as you can see all those photographs. It brings back memories again from my high school days. But the number one music was Afro-Cuban. So some of my heroes were Tito Puente and Tito Rodriguez and Machito and Willie Bobo. That was my graduation music. And we had contests about who knew what. The one note mambo. And I remember there's a phrase in the movie, Todas las mujeres de la fiesta tienen que bailar conmigo. All the women of the party want to dance with me is the name of it.
Well, what did that translate into? Sorry, what you just said, what did that translate into?
All the women of the party want to dance with me because I know all the latest steps of the Afro-Cuban music. The cha-cha-cha, the merengue. It comes from my high school. So full circle. Here comes this Italian guy, Sergio, and he says, I want you to do this. And I said, let me make it hard for you. Yes.
And do you speak Spanish? Hablo español?
So I have a lifetime friend with Sergio and his family and his little boy. And I want to thank him for bringing back those memories once again. It was a piece of cake, but don't tell him that.
And do you actually speak Spanish? Hablo español?
Bastante para sobreviviendo en este mundo, no. Necesario, no. Muy importante.
Very, very good. You lost me. I only know a little bit. Sergio, where did the genesis of the film come from?
Well, I have to think several years back. I was at the tail end of working on an animation movie, and the schedule was quite grueling, and I was very anxious to get back to directing. So I met this young actress from the TV show Degrassi, and we had expressed a keen interest in working together. And I said, if you have any ideas, even if it's just a short film, in the spirit of doing something freeing and creative, let's try something. So her partner at the time, Taras Colton, had a dream about his grandfather back in Russia who had passed away. And he was dealing with some of the guilt around that. And I really related to that. And, I think there was
Sorry, Sergio, when you say guilt, what do you mean?
Well, I think there's a personal guilt around the same time my father had passed away at 71, and he had been instrumental figure in the labor movement here in Canada and back in Italy. And when he died, his stories died with him. So that was very much on my mind, and also just the collective guilt of our disconnection with our elders. I was really feeling the weight of that, and here we are in the midst of a pandemic where it's quite topical.
And why was Lou Gossett Jr. the perfect person for this role?
I was always a big fan of Mr. Gossett. My parents sat me down when I was very young and made me watch Roots. And I just remember how much that changed my life. It was just so intense. And there was a lot of conversations around the dinner table. And that was the beginning of sort of, my appreciation for his talent. And then when I met him the first time in Malibu at his home, it really hit home when I saw the posters and all the accolades. It was overwhelming. So it took a while to kind of get past that, and then just get down to the business of director-actor relationship and making a movie.
And Mr. Gossett, in this film, your character Luis doesn't say very much, but there is so much that is said in the silence. How are you able to convey that emotion?
By being as quiet as possible and listening to the words and the emotions. It's this acting 101, as you say in actor studio, to not have the lines, but make the moments. My hero in films is Robert De Niro. And he did a film called Awakenings, if you remember that. He played a man who, in one take, went from normal to his sickness and back in one take. And I've always wanted to do that same thing. They went to his disease, and as the camera came to finish him, he was back to normal. And I envied the ability to be able to do that in camera. There's a challenge. We challenge one another. He challenges me, and I challenge him. So I had to do that all through the movie, more without line, back to the time in Cuba, back to the present time in the care unit. It's quite a satisfying thing for an artist to try and do. Hopefully, I made sense with my director that I accomplished that.
But there is so much to be said too, because you are playing someone who has Alzheimer's, and because
Yes.
of the medication, they're not really themselves anymore. Tapping into that and thinking about getting older, is that on your mind?
It's always on my mind. I've broken some records, and people have to remind me that my profession is almost 65 years long. I've got, I guess, every award that an actor can win. And when I started, things were really tough for us of this color of skin in America, much less the world, and in business. And here I still sit talking to you. It's a miracle. I'm very grateful for it. In order to give it back, I need to tell my story so young people know that there's something more important than our differences. Our similarities is what's going to save mankind. It's going to take mankind to save mankind.
And at this point, I think your T-shirt says something. Can you just show us what your T-shirt says?
Okay, I will. I'll show you a photograph. It might make it easier.
Okay. What does that say?
It says e-racism.
And why is that an important message for you to convey right now?
Because the only thing that's going to save what we're doing, the pandemic, war, our differences, is our similarities. We're really one species, one human species. It's going to take a mutual answer for us to come out of this problem we're having in order to save the day for us all. Nobody better, nobody worse. It's just mankind saving mankind.
And I think in this film too, you have many people from most of the characters are all from different backgrounds. Sergio, Luis, Mr. Gossett's character is befriended by a pre-med student named Mina, who's Afghan. Can you tell us about her character?
Well, she's a new immigrant in Canada, growing up with her aunt. We find out a little bit about her backstory through the course of the film, but essentially her journey, I guess, mirrors a lot of immigrant, sons and daughters of immigrant parents living in Canada. And I think because we live in such a multicultural society, it was easy for us to kind of express that in an authentic and honest way. And it's something that in the U.S. a lot of people have commented on. Just how do you have an Afghan nurse befriend a famous Cuban musician in a nursing home? It seems very odd and unique. But in our landscape, in a multicultural city like Toronto, it's very common, and you find common ground between these two cultures. They're both, I guess, feeling displaced, and they come together through the power of music.
Was that intentional, making her character Afghan?
Yes.
Why?
It was.
Why?
Because, there's so many cliches and stereotypes, and I think we want to shift beyond our own paradigms around how we see Afghan culture. It's so endearing. It's such a rich and historically traditional culture that for me as a filmmaker, it was just fascinating to get into the nuances of that. And I had some great consultants. I had the actor Kane Mahan, Shoreya Aghdashloo herself knew quite a bit about Afghan culture, and many others. We broke bread together for many, many months and really got to know each other. And it was just important to shine a light on such an incredibly rich culture that very few people have the opportunity to discover, perhaps in the Western world. So wanted to shine a light on that.
Well, we have another clip from the Cuban, and this is a scene where Mina, played by actress Ana Goya, plays music for Luis. Sheldon, please roll.
Conmigo. No, 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 no me formen balacera, que yo no tengo la culpa. Tú bailas con la que sea y yo con las que me gustan. Las mujeres de la fiesta tienen que bailar conmigo. Todas las mujeres de la fiesta tienen que bailar conmigo. La verdad soy buen amigo y no me meto con nadie, pero seguro se acaba el baile.
What role does music play in helping Luis recover his memory, Sergio?
Well, I think there's several things at play. There's a debilitating disease, Alzheimer's, that we're learning more and more about nowadays. There's isolation and loneliness, and then of course there's the medications that he's taking. I think it's a combination of those things. And when he hears music, it stimulates a part of his brain that recalls positive memories of his youth, and it's a very powerful thing that a lot of scientists and doctors at facilities like Baycrest Hospital are actually studying. There's scientific evidence that music has the power to bring people back to life, literally. So
Why Cuban jazz in particular? Did it just fit the story?
um, I grew up loving Afro-Cuban jazz, Buena Vista Social Club, Mambo Kings. When I saw Mambo Kings, I went out and bought in those days, a cassette and shoved it in my car and just kept listening to it over and over again. It's so infectious. And no matter what kind of mood you're in that day, it'll just pick up your spirits. And when you're dealing with something like Alzheimer's, I wanted to find something that could instantly bring people into a positive state. And I think that music carries, a beautiful culture that is infectious, like I said.
And Mr. Gossett, when we were playing that clip of with Mina playing the music, you were actually kind of grooving to that clip. What does music mean to you in your life?
100% effective. It came from my great grandparents and stuff, and it's something that I got from my great grandparents. I got another photograph for you to see when I first started in show business and who helped raise me. So that's me at 17, and that's my great grandmama at the age of 115. The thing that connected us was music. Started with the gospel, wound up with blues and rock and roll. It kind of saved our life all the way through the generations. So now today, the music is 100%. It's Afro-Cuban, it's bluesy, it's rock and roll, it's hip hop. It's all the same roots.
You said that
So
music
it's
saved.
right, it's all.
You say
I'm sorry.
that music saved you. How did it save you?
Because there's a song that represented my emotion. I could find a song that could get me away from anger and sadness. I could sing and I play guitar and stuff. I found a song, and it could be the theme of the day. But it got me through it, and I was able to sing it with my guitar, and it really has better than medicine. And so we as a people have survived with that music, even today. It's number one in all the billboards. We speak the blues and the rock and roll and the R&B and the rap, and it's all kind of the same. It gets through to the skin and into the heart and makes us survive and think again about how much we desperately need one another.
And Sergio, you touched on this earlier about the effect of the pandemic and the things that it's exposed to us. This movie was made before the pandemic. And
Yes.
in the film, there was a scene that I just wanted to ask you both about. One of the nurses says, our residents come to us for 3 reasons: to be fed, to have a decent place to sleep, and most importantly, to feel safe. And Mina, the character, responds, he is a human being. Sergio, what were you trying to convey with that scene?
The message really is a return to compassion. And this pandemic has, the world, everybody's been put in a timeout. So it's really a time when we can reflect on issues like elderly care. And as I walked the halls of various nursing homes during the research period, I just began to wonder what their stories were. And I think if this film can at least ignite a little bit of a curiosity in our elders, then we've done our job. But I know that the head of the foundation for Baycrest said he'll never walk the halls the same way again. There's pictures posted outside each room with everyone's history, and whether they were a princess, a doctor, or a janitor at a school, they all have a history and a story that needs to be respected. And there's nuggets of knowledge there that we can all learn from. So it's really that's the theme of the message. I believe is just a whole returning back to a reintegration of our elders in society.
And Mr. Gossett, the same kind of question to you. Why was that an important scene in the film?
Because it's proven that there is a sound that people from all different cultures can identify with. It attracts their attention. It's been there since the beginning of time, and now we're full circle to that similar sound, full of emotion. The blues, the opera, it's the same. And it reunites us to tell our children that is the most important way of communicating. That bottom line sound that has emotion to it is just something that's going to unite us all for a common energy.
And when we go back to what that conversation between the nurse and Mina, and I don't want to give away too much for the people who haven't seen the film, but it's this idea that Luis's character is stuck in the past, and you have this compassionate young woman who shows him a lot more generosity than his immediate family does. With the pandemic and all the things that it's exposed, in what ways would you like, Mr. Gossett, for people to acknowledge the elderly, acknowledge our elders in our society that we're not doing right now?
Well, back in the good old days, when we have the oldest society ever brought to the bear, is the African society. There was something to do at every age in the family. And when you get to the elder, you must be relied upon to tell those stories so that the other people in the generations of the family or the tribe can understand and learn. And thus we progress, one generation after another. There's something important for every generation of the family. And we must give those old people a shot to open up their mouths so they feel that they're still important. We continue on that way. That's how we grow.
Well, I want to switch gears a little bit. I'm going to be a fan for a moment, just like Sergio was at the very beginning. But you've just been nominated for an Emmy for The Watchmen, which is incredible. The Watchmen actually leads all Emmy nominees with 26 nominations. What appealed to you about that show?
Basically the same thing, that I knew a little bit more than Damon in a sense, because I've been studying that era and that man, Bass Reeves, from whom all kinds of stories have sprung from. He is the most successful marshal in the record of the West. So I knew about Bass Reeves. I knew how Bass Reeves created to be Bass Reeves. There was a film that Sidney Poitier and Harry Belafonte did called Buck and the Preacher, called The Exodusters, was the name of the book. So it's part of our history. So I was able to help Damon to create and flesh out that old man who had all those stories, once again, about what we should do. The most important thing is that we have to take the masks off, because scars do not heal in the darkness. We take our masks off to heal, to be together once and for all, just like the family used to be and must be again. There's something to do with every member of the family for our progress.
That show is it's based on a comic book, but it actually it deals with historical facts. And I think for a lot of people my generation, we didn't know about Black Wall Street, and we found out about it by watching The Watchmen. How does that?
Stories than that.
There's more stories than that, but being able to advance, I guess, history, that must mean something to you.
Very special, especially this age. I have stories to tell. And I'm very fortunate that I have the ability and the audience to tell them. So now I'm at another level I'm the elder of the family, the storyteller, for what it's worth. And it feels really nice to get that kind of energy that I can give people to young people like yourself and Sergio, so we can come together with a common story and make a progress further on together.
Well, you were the first African-American man to win a Best Supporting Actor Oscar for An Officer and a Gentleman. And we have a little bit of a clip. Sheldon, please roll.
Thank
you. I know why most of you are here. We're not stupid. Before you get to say all what we teach you over at United Airlines, you have to give the Navy 6 years of your life, Sweet Pea. Lots of things can happen in 6 years. Another war can come up in 6 years. And if you're too peaceful a person shoot out napalm on the enemy village where there might be women and children. I'm gonna find that out. Understand? Yes, sir. Understand? Yes, sir.
What's it like to see that image of yourself?
It felt fantastic.
Yeah.
I wanted to say that to some of those guys all my life.
You actually said that you haven't worked a day in your life. What did you mean by that?
It's just such a pleasure to do, to be creative, to be that close to God and be able to come from your core and get it on camera and see it day in and day out and have that experience. It's priceless. It's a priceless thing to be able to make a living doing what you love to do. I was put on the planet to do it, and I still am having a wonderful time doing it.
You just said something that's really interesting to me. You said to be that close to God. Is acting that to you?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, it is.
Why?
Very blessed to be able to do. How many people that you know make a living of what they put on the planet to do? It's a magic relationship.
When you think about when you first started in Hollywood, do you think that there are more opportunities now for Black actors in movies or in television?
Well, when you say the more opportunities in the established business, the business has changed. The opportunities have always been there, but the audience, the venue for them to get out there in front of the audience was what was lacking. Now the audience is ready to hear it all. It's nice to still be present and reliable to tell those stories. So I wake up in the morning and somebody calls and says, how come you don't do a story about the slaves coming from the memorial from Gory? I said, funny you should ask. Yeah, there's so many stories. Black Wall Street, funny you should ask. Bass Reeves, funny you should ask. There's so much more to tell. Until people say, shut up.
We won't say that here. And Sergio, when you do a movie, you work on it for a while. And then when the movie comes out, you do the red carpets and you do all the press. And in this reality that we're in right now, it's very much a different thing. What's it been like for you to, to get the word out about this movie during a pandemic?
Well, I think initially it was, sheer shock. I think we all have gone through the stages of grief and during this pandemic. But ultimately, we on the 20th, we did our first drive-through red carpet. I did it from my car on Zoom with a tablet. I get to connect to audiences personally like this through technology. I've had the opportunity to do many interviews with Mr. Gossett and the rest of the cast. Really connecting to an audience that I wouldn't have had the opportunity to do prior to the pandemic. So in some ways, the silver lining is that the world has changed and the pandemic was really accelerated change that was already imminent. I think, all this stuff was going to happen anyways. It's just to really look at our lives, our values, and how we do things. Is it necessary for us to be in a studio together? I mean, it would be lovely, but Mr. Gossett's in Atlanta, I'm here, and you're in Toronto. It's wonderful. There's so many positives about it. The negatives obviously are clear and obvious. There's people dying, which is horrible. But so far, it's been a surreal experience beyond any of my wildest dreams. That's for sure.
And Mr. Gossett, what's it been like for you as a leading actor?
It's like Yogi Berra just said, the old basketball catcher for the New York Yankees. It's like deja vu all over again. I've had it with Roots, I had it with Officer and Gentleman and other things. It's nice to keep on striking that bell and have people identify with what you put on the screen. It's a wonderful marriage.
This isn't your first Canadian film. What keeps bringing you back to Canada?
I love you guys. I love the combination of all your cultures and how successful you are. I want to see more of the same. I see the combinations in you and other people. I think it's very, very exciting that you're growing in that right direction. I'm very proud of you. I like living amongst you, like doing all of that stuff. So congratulations, Canada.
And you actually lived in Toronto, right?
I lived in Toronto and I've lived in Vancouver.
Well, I mean, Toronto was the better place, right?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yeah, I was the Grand Marshal of the Carabana a couple of years back.
Oh, really? Because Carabana would have been this past week.
It was the hottest day in Canadian history, boy. I lost 10 pounds on that back of that car.
Trust me, a lot of people felt it this past weekend, but I guess, as Sergio said, as long as people are safe, that's what matters. Sergio, how can people see the Cuban?
Well, in Canada, we're doing a drive-in release across the country, and apparently there's some theaters also that will be releasing the movie. At thecubanmovie.com is where all the listings are. And I give a lot of credit to my distributor, A71, and the whole team that have been able to pull something so remarkable together. And in the US, we've gone in 53 cities, I believe, via virtual cinemas and some hardtop cinemas as well. So we're very excited.
And Mr. Gossett, we're going to be rooting for you for this Emmy. After all the awards that you've received, what is it like to be nominated for yet another one?
It wouldn't hurt, as my teacher told me when he told me to try out for this part on Broadway. Go over there and submit yourself. It wouldn't hurt. So it doesn't hurt. It feels wonderful to know that after all these years, people can still remember my name and remember my work. That's beautiful. That's beautiful.
We appreciate both of your time. It's been very nice to meet you, Mr. Gossett. And Sergio, thank you so much. Congratulations on a lovely film.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Love your hair.
Thank you.
The Agenda in the Summer with Nam Kiwanuka is brought to you by the Chartered Professional Accountants of Ontario. CPA Ontario is a regulator, an educator, a thought leader, and an advocate. We protect the public. We advance our profession. We guide our CPAs. We are CPA Ontario. And by viewers like you. Thank you.